Hello everyone and welcome to UZ Report World News Broadcasting with the latest news from Uzbekistan and around the world. A worldwide distributor and provider of complete networking solutions, Wincom Technologies Corporation, has won a tender to expand an external internet channel in Uzbekistan. According to a decree signed by Uzbek Cabinet of Ministers, the U.S. company is committed to expand the capacity of the international packet switching center to 1,800 gigabit per second. The $25.9 million project is expected to pay off in 6 years. Domestic bank Aloka Bank is to allocate $19.9 thousand worth of loans to finance the project. Wincom Technologies Corporation was founded in 1993. It is engaged in the construction of operator networks and the supply of equipment. Its clients in Uzbekistan are Uzbek Telecom, National Bank, UCell, Digital TV and others. The Energy Ministry of Uzbekistan on April 19 inked an investment agreement for the construction of a new thermal power plant in the Surkhandarya region and a power purchase agreement with a Dutch company Stone City Energy. The $1.2 billion 1,560 megawatt TPP is set to be commissioned at the end of 2024. Stone City is to design, finance, build, commission, operate and manage this new TPP for 25 years. The TPP is to be equipped with the latest technologies, including modern HL-class steam and gas units manufactured by Siemens Energy, which would save 1.1 billion cubic meters of natural gas annually. Construction of the TPP would create 2,000 jobs, with 150 specialist jobs to be created post-commissioning. The agreements signed with Stone City Energy are yet another example of Uzbekistan working with international partners for the benefit of the country. Due to the country's economic growth and the growing needs of the population, we need to fulfill future energy demand. We look forward to working closely with Stone City in the years to come, said Alisher Sultanov, Energy Minister of Uzbekistan. Uzbek joint stock commercial mortgage bank Ipoteka Bank became the first among the corporate issuers of Uzbekistan to successfully issue and place bonds in the national currency on the international capital market. The 3-year Eurobonds of Ipoteka in the amount of 785 billion sums, which is equivalent to up to $75 million, were successfully placed on the International Vienna Stock Exchange on April 16, 2021, with a coupon rate of 16% per annum. The placement was carried out in accordance with the recommendations of the underwriter bank of the transaction, JP Morgan Chase, and the Finance Ministry of Uzbekistan. In April this year, Fitch rated the now completed issue at BB-RR4. The Uzbek bank made its first $300 million worth Eurobond issue in November 2020. A listing was made on the London Stock Exchange. 1050th anniversary of the scientist and philosopher Abu Rayhan Biruni is planned to be widely celebrated. This was announced by UNESCO at the 211 online session of the organization, attended by Deputy Prime Minister, member of the National Commission of Uzbekistan for UNESCO, Aziz Abduhakimov. The proposal was put forward on the initiative of Uzbekistan and supported by Tajikistan, Iran and Turkey. The plan is to be put on the agenda of the 41st meeting of the UNESCO General Conference, which will be held in November 2021 in Paris. The upcoming event is expected to be not less than the 1045th anniversary of Biruni, celebrated in 2018 in Karakalpakstan with a scientific and theoretical conference. Uzbekistan has set a strict restriction against the discrimination or distortion of the state language. A corresponding bill has recently been under scrutiny at the regular Senate meeting. It received over 4,000 proposals during the public discussion.
The draft outlines that respect for all languages of nations and nationalities living in the territory of Uzbekistan will be ensured, as well as the necessary conditions for their development will be created. Restrictions on the rights and freedoms of citizens due to ignorance of the state language and discrimination are not allowed. Citizens have the right to choose the language of inter-ethnic communication at their own discretion, and state bodies and organizations create the necessary conditions for teaching the state language to their employees who do not know it to perform professional, special, and official tasks.
Prestigious American universities are intending to open their branches in Uzbekistan. This was unveiled at a virtual roundtable held between the Uzbek and American universities. The Embassy of Uzbekistan in Washington reports. My colleague has more.
The event saw the head of the diplomatic mission of Uzbekistan, Javlan Vakhabov, the U.S. ambassador to Uzbekistan, Daniel Rosenblum, and the representatives of the Ministry of Higher and Secondary Special Education of Uzbekistan. During the event, several prestigious American universities organized detailed presentations of opportunities for building further cooperation with their partners in Uzbekistan. In turn, the head of the International Relations Department of the Ministry of Higher and Secondary Special Education of Uzbekistan, Yakubjan Ergashev, noted that over the past 3 years, among 50 newly opened universities, 29 of them are the branches of foreign educational institutions. The Uzbek side is interested in increasing their number, in particular, American ones. According to our diplomatic mission in the United States, today foreign universities are granted special tax benefits in the form of tax exemptions and mandatory deductions. At the same time, Uzbekistan is to primarily support universities with the courses of mechanical engineering, agriculture, construction and energy sector.
Uzbekistan is currently using only 5% of Samarkand's tourist potential, according to the country's Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism and Sports, Aziz Abduhakimov. He has also unveiled plans to attract more tourists to the city. In 2021, 165,000 passengers are expected to arrive at the Samarkand International Airport. For comparison, the capacity of the airports of Osh and Shymkent is at least 1.3–1.4 million passengers per year. This testifies to the poor use of the potential of Samarkand.
The minister added that the new hub would operate in open sky mode, which would allow launching numerous direct flights to the city. According to Aziz Abduhakimov, travelers from Arab countries make up the majority of tourism consumers in Uzbekistan.
Europeans travel twice a year, and the citizens of Arab countries have high incomes. In Kuwait, Oman, Bahrain, and Qatar, citizens prefer family travel. This means they will spend more and stay longer. They travel every month. When we investigated this factor through our embassies in these countries, we realized that they are very suitable guests for us.
Europe's drug regulator continues to back Johnson & Johnson's COVID vaccine, despite confirming on Tuesday that it had found possible links to rare blood clot issues in adults who received doses. The European Medicines Agency, or EMA, maintains that the vaccine's benefits outweighs the risk. The EMA Safety Committee had concluded that a warning about unusual blood clots must be added to the vaccine labels. This was also required for its rival vaccine maker AstraZeneca. This is EMA Executive Director Emma Cook.
When vaccines are rolled out to a large number of people, it is possible that very rare side effects can occur, and these will not necessarily have been identified in the clinical trials. But because we have a very good pharmacovigilance system in place in Europe, we can spot these events very quickly, and we can take action to make sure that healthcare professionals and patients are aware and can take necessary action. So it's really showing that the system works.
The EMA found that all instances of clotting had occurred in adults under 60 years old, mostly women, within 3 weeks of their Johnson & Johnson shot. It said all available evidence, including 8 reported cases in the US, had formed part of its assessment. Over 7 million doses have been administered in that country as of April 13th, according to the EMA. The US health regulators last week recommended pausing the use of this particular vaccine. Despite the official backing, the findings are still a blow to the European Union, which is battling major hurdles in its immunization campaign. Several nations have suspended or limited the use of AstraZeneca's vaccines. Johnson & Johnson is one of the 4 that has been authorized for use in Europe.
China's President Xi Jinping will attend a US-led climate change summit on Thursday. It will be the first meeting between Xi and President Joe Biden since the start of the new US administration. One of Biden's first moves since taking office was to re-enter the United States into the 2015 Paris Agreement. The need to tackle climate change has been one of the few issues Washington and Beijing have been able to agree on. They continue to be at loggerheads over alleged human rights abuses and China's economic clout over other nations. Last week, US climate envoy John Kerry travelled to Shanghai to meet his Chinese counterpart. It was the first high-level visit to China by a Biden administration official, and both agreed concrete actions to reduce emissions. China's foreign ministry says Xi will attend the summit via video and will deliver a speech. He's one of dozens of world leaders Biden has invited to the two-day virtual event.
Lockdowns haven't been kind to Danone. The French food group said Tuesday that sales dropped 3.3% in the first quarter. Bottled water was among the problems, with fewer thirsty people out and about. Sales of the drinks fell over 11%. Baby food is another headache. Sales have fallen in line with declining birth rates and been hit by health crisis-related disruption in China. The declines were offset by rising sales of dairy and plant-based products. Danone is the world's largest maker of yogurt. The firm finds itself looking for a new boss, however. Former chief executive Emmanuel Faber was abruptly ousted last month. He clashed with some board members over strategy and was criticised by investors over the group's lacklustre returns. On Tuesday, the company wouldn't say how far it had got in finding a replacement, but it has previously said it's looking for an external candidate. For all the troubles, Danone is sticking to its targets. It aims to return to profitable growth in the second half. Shares in the firm fell over 2.5% in early trade Tuesday.
Thailand is building one of the world's biggest floating hydro-solar farms. The 300-acre venture marks a significant shift towards a greener future for the Southeast Asian country, after years of criticism over its heavy reliance on fossil fuels. Chanin Salit-chan is at the helm of the Sirindhorn Dam project.
We are currently at 90% completion. The project area is divided into 7 platforms of floating solar cell panels. We've already installed 5.5 platforms. There are still 1.5 platforms to work on, which we expect to complete by the end of April. And we think we'll be ready to distribute electricity with this by the end of June 2021.
The state-run Electricity Generation Authority of Thailand says the hybrid station should have capacity to generate 45 megawatts of power from over 144,000 units of solar panels installed on the reservoir. An energy management system will be used to switch between solar and hydropower, depending on which has more strength to generate electricity to allow for continuous power production.
In terms of power generation, there are limitations when it comes to solar power. So we eliminated these limitations by continuously generating power via a hybrid system. Aside from that, we utilize everything we have here to make the best use of each component. We have space on the water surface, and we have hydropower station with a high voltage power transmission system. And with that combination, it will make the cost of power generation per unit lower.
Thailand's aim is to draw 35% of its energy from non-fossil fuel sources by 2037, according to their latest power development plan. What if you could see, in kilograms, the amount of CO2 emissions involved in purchasing a new pair of jeans? Swedish payments firm Klarna has just added such a feature to its app, offering each of its 90 million users the option of monitoring the carbon footprint of their purchases, from production to delivery at the consumer's front door. The feature will display an estimated carbon emission for individual purchases and also allow users to track their cumulative carbon footprint over months. The figures will be compared to energy-burning activities such as a car journey of a certain distance, so the cost can be better understood. Klarna Chief Executive Sebastian Siemiatkowski.
So what we've decided to do is basically partner up with somebody called Doconomy. And what they have is they're enabling us to basically be able to calculate the carbon footprint of every purchase that you would do with Klarna. It's 90 million consumers doing 2 million purchases a day, and then make it transparent for them. Similar to when you buy groceries, you can see what's the nutritional impact of the decision of buying this product with sugar or fat or whatever it might be, and just show them the carbon footprint consequence of their purchase. And so we think this could be a very powerful thing in helping provide that transparency and educating people about the impact of their decision.
The firm, which counts retail giants H&M and ASOS among its 250,000 clients, said users will currently only see the emissions after a purchase, but that it hopes to update the app so it's shown in advance. This could result in shoppers comparing the carbon emissions of rival products before selecting which item to buy. Klarna said shoppers will not be charged money to use the app's CO2 tracker.
to us, this is about competitiveness. Like, I think people we see 65% of, we ask 65% of our millennials users and Gen Z that are using our products, like how important this is. Like, it ranks among the absolute biggest requirements of theirs and interests of theirs to understand these kind of things.
Klarna's buy now, pay later credit system has been criticised in Britain for encouraging debt among young people. In February, the British government said it would introduce regulation forcing firms like Klarna to make affordability checks before lending to a customer.
Hello and welcome back to Apple Park for our first event of 2021.
Apple CEO Tim Cook on Tuesday kicked off the company's virtual product launch event by introducing a new purple shade for its iPhone 12 lineup.
We're so excited to introduce a new, gorgeous purple.
A new line of slim iMac computers.
The all-new, completely redesigned iMac is more personal, more powerful, and more capable than ever.
And new iPads that use its own processors.
We've all been spending more and more time on video calls.
Both the new iMacs and iPads come with higher quality video, catering to a work-from-home world. It comes after the company received complaints from consumers that the computer's cameras had not kept pace with the company's iPhones and iPads during an era of pervasive video calls.
It's the best camera we've ever put in a Mac.
The company also announced podcast subscription services that will compete with rival Spotify and an updated Apple TV set-top box with better color output and a faster processor chip.
This is AirTag.
Also Tuesday, Apple unveiled AirTags, a small $29 tracking device to help locate lost keys, phones, or luggage. The AirTag announcement could result in a new round of complaints to lawmakers that Apple is hurting smaller rivals. Tile, a private company that has sold a competing tracker for nearly a decade, last year testified before the U.S. House of Representatives that Apple's App Store rules had made it harder to use Tile's products. Tile will be called before the U.S. Senate to testify on Wednesday.
When Kenyan farmer Waki Munyalo's lentil crop shrank by 3/4 last year due to unusually low rainfall, a simple remedy previously unavailable to most African farmers kept her from disaster: an insurance plan.
Insurance is really good because it helps and motivates us, especially when they ask us to grow maize, millet, or green grams. That is our produce, not yours, so we do our best to grow those crops and meet our target.
Munyalo, a 38-year-old mother of 3, had taken out an insurance policy with Kenyan startup Pula, which aims to reach a vast, untapped pool of African farmers grappling with new disruptions linked to climate change. She made a claim with her Pula policy and received about $110, close to what she would have earned if her crop had flourished. Farming is the biggest contributor to economic output in many African nations, and across the continent, small-scale farmers are struggling to cope with the impact of climate change on weather patterns and the land on which they depend. But Pula is offering a way to manage. In Kenya alone, 600,000 farmers have taken out policies with Pula. Pula head of operations in Kenya, Daniel Mbuvi.
We are trying to help them by distributing insurance products that will enable them to fight advanced climatic changes, things to do with rainfall, whether it's excess rainfall which causes the flooding and hailstorms, whether it's less rainfall which causes drought and causes plant loss, anything that is a natural calamity that's likely to affect the farmer.
These challenges, along with the spread of mobile phone technology, have created the conditions for Pula's rapid growth. Outside of Kenya, the company has already signed up 4.6 million farmers in Nigeria, Zambia, Ethiopia, and other African countries. Also key to the firm's success is affordability. Farmers can insure their crops with Pula for as little as $5 to $10. To sustain its business while keeping premiums low, Pula uses a mobile phone application to register users, machine learning algorithms to cluster farmers whose land have similar characteristics, and digital tools to assess claims in the field. That's according to Pula CEO Thomas Njeru.
The key for us is to, one, as I said, achieve diversification demonstrate that this is actually something we can do at a global scale. To enable us to reach our goal of reaching at least 30 million farmers in the next 2 to 3 years, spread across the 3 continents, Africa, Asia, and Latin America.
In January, Pula raised $6 million in a funding round. Njeru said the company's next targets are Brazil and India.
Now you can use your Venmo app to buy, sell, and hold Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. PayPal launched the service Tuesday on its popular digital money app. Users can buy the virtual currencies for as little as $1. They can then share news of their transactions through the Venmo feed. The move brings cryptocurrencies one step closer to becoming mainstream because Venmo has more than 70 million customers. PayPal has been on the vanguard. Last October, it began allowing users to buy, sell, and hold cryptos in its digital wallets. And last month, it allowed them to begin spending their virtual coins at millions of merchants worldwide. But Venmo has competition. Square's Cash App and online brokerage Robinhood already allow purchases of cryptocurrencies. These launches have helped fuel a rally in virtual currencies. Bitcoin has soared nearly 90% since the start of this year.
These were the top headlines for today. Stay safe and goodbye.